A few bits of admin. Yes, we have the guitar app, the heavy list. If you want 40 tracks of metal updated every week, you can download that from the website. Dom's Iron Sandwich, his album reviews done from his shed/kitchen are online every day. That's growing in popularity. Of course, as Stephen mentioned, we have Jackie, the Full Metal Jackie, fucking Jesus wept. Full Metal Podcast, what, 4?
That's 4 disgusting things you've done since I've been
And a burp. Yeah. I'm in my pants, no one can see on the video thing.
I can fucking see.
My little stripy there. These are my lucky pants. I've got 3. These are the green ones. They're less lucky than the red.
My luck's about it. They're my unlucky pants.
I don't have a shot up negative comment of the week, but I'm going to make it. This one that you read through, you lit through what we got the script today, and you went, you're not saying that. And I went, totally saying that.
Fucking go on.
So this is from Stu, someone called Stu, who sent, I think it was an email, said, ask Steve Hill about the time he beat his Goodman CD player to a pulp. We were about 15, I think. Feel free to elaborate or just mention in passing. The single most amusing show of Stephen's temper ever. Also, nearly caught him wanking once. I left his mum's house. Who is this? Let me just say this bit.
Go on.
I left his mum's house but forgot something, so 2 minutes later, ran back straight in and up the steepest staircase in the world to find Steve leant on his front, laid on his front, and he wouldn't move for shit. I stayed chatting to him for a further 10 minutes, but he still didn't move. So you were hiding your little willy, were you? Get that tucked away.
I think I was probably preparing, but I don't think I had started. Yeah, that's my mate Stu.
Got a bit red, haven't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, what a ridiculous thing to write. Well, he was around my house last week.
Who is this person?
One of my ex-best mates.
Now actually from Facebook.
Yeah, and he looks a little bit like in our yearbook. He just looks like a pencil. He's got like his neck and head are the same thing. So you look like a pencil, mate. All right.
That's amazing.
And also, his mum's called Kathy, and he had a weird man come up to him. This is only really funny to him, really, and not really embarrassing.
And not
to
that
him,
funny to him when everyone who listens to the podcast goes up to him and goes, quite like a Haribo HB. Haribo? What's the pencil
he
called?
Doesn't anymore. He doesn't know anything. There's a really funny photo of him, and we went, ha ha. And I'm trying to think of something else embarrassing to him. Apart from
His
this
mum's
guy
called Kathy.
His mum's called Kathy, and this weird man, in a bus stop, came up to him once, and we were all in town, and he went, you remember me? I'm Kathy's boy, and just said it to him about 10 times, and he got really embarrassed, and sort of this sort of weird, clearly autistic, stroke Down syndrome, stroke mental person just trying to hold his hand and pretending that he knew him, and we're like, yeah, there's your mate. But anyway. No one knows who he is, so.
I like the fact that you just stay like laying down, and on the bed's kind of fine, like if you're in your bedroom. But I almost imagine that if you were like in the street, so you were just lying on the pavement, and you went, "Oh man, how you doing?" Because usually if you were just lying on the ground, you'd get up, right? You're like,
would you? I mean,
hey, you're right. Yeah.
I've seen the Radiohead video where they were laid down. Just nothing weird about that.
Yeah.
Everyone else lays down with him, so just do that.
Thanks for that,
I
Stu.
did smash my CD player up, and I can't remember why. So just
like you need a reason.
What I do.
Yeah.
All right. Those days are gone. The CD player smashing.
You're Johnny Reggae these days,
the
aren't you, mate?
masturbation. It's all done, mate.
All done. You don't
Finished.
need to money anymore.
Yeah, you're living in the past, Stu. Living in the past.
Yeah, don't want to do all the old catchphrases, do we?
Yeah.
We also had, this is from Joe Daly, who is a Hammer writer over in LA, who said, just catching up on the Metal Hammer podcast, I was listening to the Puddle of Mud one while he was walking the dog early this morning. Hilarious.
Thank you. Go on.
And apparently Wes Scantlin walks around backstage like he's just cured cancer.
Yeah, because he kind of has, hasn't he?
I was going to say, well, I'd feel really bad if you met someone who was really arrogant and you went, it's not like you just cured cancer.
No, we're not.
And he went, actually, and he's got his Nobel Prize out and went...
What would be brilliant if you went, stop acting like that, mate. It's not like you've cured cancer. And he went, well, I haven't, but I have. Actually, I mean, it's probably better, actually. And he got a little thing out and he pressed play and it started playing their cover of Rocket Man. And then you smashed him with a spade in the face and it cut the top of his head off. And he lay there going, my poor stupid worthless head. And then you just battered him to death for being the most obnoxious, useless fuckwit in the world.
I'm going to get you to interview him.
I'd love to.
We're going to interview him. So that was Joe. I might put his full anecdote on
every day. You must wake up and think, what is the purpose of me? Why don't I commit suicide? How do you stop those urges? Do you just whack on your cover of I'll get by with a little help from my friends, do you? Which isn't even your cover, it's you covering Joe Cocker's cover, you massive fucking bellend.
I reckon what he does, he probably like gets himself slightly aroused, rolls on his front and calls his mate and goes, "He makes a cup of tea."
Oh, God.
I'm going to bring it up all the time.
Yeah, I'll just get sexy.
Fuck you, alright, quit. Great, so should we go to some albums? Should we do some gigs first?
Yeah, because I haven't been to any gigs, so that'll be fun. Yeah, because I found you yesterday, all right, what are you doing? Go see Steel Panther, bye. I was like, oh, see you then. Oh, God, I'm not going to cry.
Steel Panther were great last night.
Yeah.
We all know they're rad. I would just say it was amazing that Satchel actually broke a string on stage, and as opposed to taking his guitar off and giving another one, he actually did some like chat and restrung his guitar, and this was in the middle of his guitar solo, so there's no band playing anything else, just him standing on stage going, "Hey dude, girls and cocaine," and he was being funnier than that, obviously.
Yeah.
But then just restrung his guitar on stage, just like that. I've never ever seen that done before, and it was quite funny as well.
Wow.
So fair play. New stuff sounds brilliant. They were great.
Did he take his trousers down?
He didn't do that.
No.
I took my friend along, Becky. I took my friend Becky along to the interview, and Michael was quite distracted from the interview, and therefore gave an awful interview as he just basically tried to put his willy in my friend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you should have got me to come.
Yeah, because there'll be none of that. No,
Well, they're not going to try and
problem.
put their willy in me, are they?
Well, I don't know. They've got open minds.
Yeah. I'm no Shia LaBeouf.
So yeah, the Steel Panther show was grand. They're playing with Motley Crue and Def Leppard in December. That should be fun. Defiled played on Saturday. I just want to say we kind of forget because they've been on the periphery. I mean, you live in London, you're into your metal. You know, I feel like Defiled have been around us.
Yeah.
Just sort of generally for ages, and people kind of write those kind of bands off unless they become massive. But they basically all but sold out the Underworld front to back. Everyone's singing all the words. Just so proud. Such an awesome show. Defiled, I think, in the next 5 years are going to become one of the UK's kind of biggest metal bands. I think they'll overtake Sylosis and Malefice for what it's worth.
They could do, yeah.
So right, you had the Lamb of God album.
Fucking right, I did. Well, we're going to talk about it. You told me you wouldn't tell me what you thought about it last week. So before I start, what do you think about it?
I like it.
You like it, do you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't like it. You give the impression that you
I know.
didn't
It's
like
just I was trying to wind you up though.
Oh, right.
So I will sacrifice me giving my real opinion.
Okay.
I know, I'm just kind of being contrary. It didn't like totally take my head off the first listen, apart from towards the end, and with repeated plays, it's just great.
I fucking love it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's the heaviest album they've done since the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, it is definitely Lamb of God, isn't it? But you kind of, when these bands get really big, you start to worry a little bit, don't you? That they're going to go, oh, wow, we're getting really big. Our last album went to the Billboard at number 2, so maybe we should probably put a little bit of melody, do a Shadows Fall, and put a bit of melody
Which is
in.
English for average.
Yeah, and put a bit of like melody in and like slow it down. Have a single. There's literally none of that. It's almost like they've gone, let's see if we can get the heaviest album ever.
Yeah.
To the top of the, like, you know, it's like they're trying to beat Pantera at getting or Slipknot, they're being the heaviest album that ever gets to number 1. I think it'll be massive. And I think it's fucking wicked. It's got like that first track is so good. That
very
slow, doomy, yeah. And then, they just kick the shit out of it. It's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant.
How do you feel also about, this was obviously going to be sort of a bone of contention, but you always trust Lamb of God. If Lamb of God said we're going to do a dubstep album, you'd be like, I trust you. Do you know what I mean? You trust Lamb of God. There's the female vocals towards the end, the choir, the string section in there.
But none of it is ever. It never compromises the fact that it is a full-on, fucking insanely heavy record, and that's what is Lamb of God are good at being, and that's what they are. I think it's a great album. It's brilliant, and like I say, there are little bits in there when you go, oh, I've never quite heard them do that before.
And that's what you need, though.
Yeah.
This many albums in, or otherwise you turn into Slayer or Hatebreed. And not in a bad way, but just the same thing again, not so really pushing it.
I think it's great. I think it's the best album they've done. I'm gonna almost say it's the best album they've done.
Really? Interesting.
That's very. I think it could, because it is I mean, it's definitely, the songwriting is far better than New American Gospel, but that's definitely their heaviest album. I think this is not quite as heavy, but it's going. There are certain bits on it where you're like, fucking hell, I mean, this is full on, just brutal. Like last week you said you like someone, I just like music with people, of someone crashing a wall into my flat. I don't know, that is, I do like noise, you know, my favourite, my album of the year would be someone tying me up, pushing my head down on the floor, like putting an electric toothbrush on, just put it next to my head and shouting fuck for an hour. That would probably be my album of the year. And like banging a pot in that'd be brilliant.
Whilst also going,
bong 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 bong. I'll be like, that's what fuck, oh, this is great, man, this is great. But yeah, I do like, but then all the little extra subtle bits, they never they add to it, but they never outstay their welcome. You know what I mean? There are some bands who go, oh, we're going to do, this is going to be a totally different tune, and you go, well, that's a bit wank.
I think it's the most Phil I've heard Randy.
Yeah?
Especially up front near the sort of track 3, 4, 5, there's a couple of moments I'm like, that's almost mimicry. I can't do like the screamy, like the high little scream bits that he does.
Yeah, I think he just sounded, he's always sounded a little bit like...
He always, of course, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like saying to your mum, oh, which is your favourite Lamb of God album? Don't you think he sounds a bit more like this than this that he already sounded a bit like? And your mum going, yep.
Yeah, he's very angry.
I agree.
He's angry, isn't he? Very angry, man. That's what she'd say.
Mrs. Hill. She on the phone? She on the phone today, do you reckon?
I'm phoning fucking Stu up after this, I tell you. I'm going to give him a piece of my bloody mind, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's great. I think it's a great album.
In your top 10 albums of the year?
Quite possibly. At the moment, I've listened to it. I've only had it a week. Yeah, there's a few. I want to do the worst albums of the year because I know that we're
Alright, let's do that one. That's a great one. We'll do the worst albums of the year. I've got like a working list upstairs of all the albums of the year, so I'll ping you that.
Are we going to do that? Are we?
Yeah, and we'll do the worst albums of the year.
Okay.
I think that will be the Rage cast right there.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you in like, you know, in
Straight Jacket.
in
Silence of the Lambs.
the Living Daylights. Not the Living Daylights. Diamonds Are Forever, with like the woman who turns into a monkey in the cage and then breaks out and goes.
Don't be right, James Bond.
You can. Your house is fucking rammed full of James Bond stuff.
No, it isn't. What are you on about?
It is. There's tons of James Bond
No,
things.
there's nothing, James. I have not got a thing. What are you on about? You're thinking of someone else.
I'm not at all. You've got loads of James Bond stuff at your house.
No,
like
I haven't.
DVDs and books.
I have not got any James Bond stuff at my house.
The next time I'm around, I'm going to point out
What have I
with
got?
a laser
Books.
pointer.
Books. I've got James Bond books.
Oh,
Who's
mate,
got a James Bond book?
you do.
I haven't.
Is it not your French flatmate then?
No.
Because the French love
What,
James Bond. It's right up their street. They love
No,
that.
we haven't got
Ali.
any James. You are making that up 100%.
Not even a computer game?
No,
Whose house was I at the other week then?
I don't know, do I?
Is Marielle? She's not.
Pierce Brosnan's?
Pierce. Ah, that's strange.